The BLEControlsPi app allows you to control a Raspberry Pi or similar Linux box over Bluetooth. You can create various iOS controls such as sliders, toggle buttons, pickers, or text input, which can send their value to the Raspberry Pi. You can also create displays such as gauges or text, which the Raspberry Pi can update. Note that a link is provided on the startup screen, which takes you to the documentation page on BLEControlsPi in Safari. Start by tapping on Start Controls. The controls surface is displayed, ready to be used. On first start, no controls exist yet. Note the blue question mark in the upper left. This displays a how-to page within the app. At the top, a link is also provided, which opens in Safari the documentation and frequently asked question page on BLEPiApps.com. Returning to the main controls screen, select the Settings tab to start adding controls to the app. Tap the Create New button. A list of various controls available is displayed. Here we select the slider control. This takes us to the parameter screen for the slider. Next, enter a code that identifies this particular control. When its value is sent to the Raspberry Pi, it must be unique. Normally, it is best to leave it as suggested by the app, which enforces the uniqueness of the code. Set the numerical values as needed. Click Return on the keyboard, or the red Hide button to dismiss the keyboard. A preview of what the control looks like is provided. Tap Update Now to see it in action. When satisfied, tap Create. This takes us back to the Settings tab screen where the newly created control is listed. Let us create another control. This time we select a gauge. This one offers 2 rows of labels. We will set up the Raspberry Pi to send its CPU temperature via Bluetooth to be displayed on this gauge. When setting the numbers for the gauge, scroll down to show the Hide button, which dismisses the keyboard. Then, tap the Update Now button to see the gauge as defined. Note that you can change the style of the gauge to a linear style if you prefer. For this demo, we will stick with the circular gauge. When satisfied, tap the Create button. Now we see the 2 controls created thus far. Let us create 2 more buttons. Note that the app comes with 2 free controls out of the box. If you need more, select the Buy Controls tab to buy extra controls. These come in packs of 1, 3, 5, or 9. If you have previously purchased control packs, tap the Show Buttons to see the list. If you install the app on a second device or reinstall, you can tap Restore Purchases. Note that control definitions are synced between devices of the same Apple ID. If you add a control on one device, it will be displayed on the next device when you start the app on it. Going back to the Settings tab, we add 2 more controls. First, a simple toggle button labeled Lights. Secondly, a picker control labeled Level, to which we add 3 options: low, medium, and high. We now see the list of these 4 controls on the Settings tab. Note that you can edit a specific control by tapping the blue Edit icon on the left, which returns you to the Parameters page where you can change its attribute. You cannot change the type of the control via the Edit button. If you want to change the control type, you must first delete the control using the red garbage can icon on the right. Then, use the Create New button above to replace the control. Let us now size and position the controls as we want them to be displayed on the controls panel. Tap the Set Layout button. On this screen, you can move or resize the controls. By default, it opens in the Move state. It is recommended to size the controls first. Tap the blue Resize. Use the blue arrows in the corner to size the control. A red frame appears around the control being resized. Do this for each control as needed. Then, tap on the blue Move button. You can grab a control and move it where you want. The layout adjusts based on the space available and the size you created for each control. When done, tap Save. Then tap the Controls tab to see the results of your work. The controls are now ready to be used. However, at this point, the controls values are not being sent to the Raspberry Pi because we have not yet connected to one. Currently, at the top of the control screen, the words Select Device appear. This indicates that you are not yet connected to a Raspberry Pi. Tap this or the antenna icon to start the connection process. Note that it is necessary to install the Python code library, free and open source, on the Raspberry Pi. The corresponding service must be running in order for the app to discover and connect to the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi selection screen is displayed. Any Raspberry Pi with the Python code installed and running will be displayed here. Tap on the desired Raspberry Pi to initiate the connection. The connection process is displayed. Once connected, you are returned to the control screen. You can now see the name of the selected Raspberry Pi to which the app is now connected, in our case, BKLT. You can now operate the controls. Their values are immediately sent to the connected Raspberry Pi. Notice that as the Raspberry Pi has been programmed to send its CPU temperature upon connecting, the gauge now displays 55 Celsius, as opposed to the original default of 25, since the app has received that CPU temperature from the Raspberry Pi. Finally, should you wish to disconnect, such as when you want to connect to another Raspberry Pi, simply tap the red X antenna icon. When you do so, Bluetooth is disconnected and the familiar Select Device appears above. This concludes the demo of the BLEControlsPi app available on the Apple App Store.